Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Essence Janay, and in today's video we are doing something a little bit different. Instead of the traditional everyday glowy skin, which we've all been so obsessed with these days, I am taking a 180 and kind of taking a back seat on all the glow. I wanted to tone things down for today's video, do something more simple but yet matte, and I feel like I have mastered that. We're getting ready to head into fall, and there's no better time for a matte makeup look than fall, so consider this kind of like a pre-fall makeup look, if you will. I really hope you guys enjoyed the content of today's video. Of course, you guys can let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed today's content, and don't forget to click the bell so you can be notified every single time that I upload. With all of that being said, make sure you grab your makeup brushes, matcha tea, water, whatever it is that you're into, and let's just jump right into today's video. Alright you guys, let's go ahead and jump into things. Now of course I'm going to start with priming my skin. Whenever I do matte looks versus something glowy, I definitely use different products to prime and prep the skin. I've done my skincare already, so it's been sitting on my face for more than 30 minutes, so we're ready to roll. I'm going to go in with this one. This is the TATCHA Silk Canvas, and I'm just going to use a little bit of this just in my T-zone. I mean, I'm going to use it everywhere, but I really want to focus this product in the T-zone mostly, because this is going to be the one and only like primer that we use. I really want to try not to use too many products on my skin, as it is very like sensitive right now. I don't know what's going on, you guys. You guys can't really probably tell that well on camera, but trust me, I don't know what's up with it. I'm really trying to correct the problem, whatever that may be, before my birthday, but we're just going to use this one. One thing I did notice about my skin is that it definitely needs to be exfoliated like really well. I personally have not done like an exfoliating treatment in some time, and I think my skin is definitely in need of it. I want to go back to using the Ordinary, I believe it's their peeling solution. It's the one in like the red tube. I want to go back to using that and just really treat my skin, because I can feel the texture on it. I did exfoliate this morning with something else that I had sitting in my cabinet, and I mean it did the trick, but I want something a little bit more permanent, if you know what I mean. So right now I'm just applying some of the MILANI Supercharged. This is their under eye tint. You guys know I love this. I like to use it to conceal my dark spots and areas. Well, not spots, definitely the under eyes is mainly what I like to use it for. And then, I mean, I don't know if anybody else has used it for their T-zone area just to help brighten and lighten things, but I like to do that too. I mean, I like to think that it's doing something, but I don't really know. So I'm just going to use this brush just to kind of like press this into the skin. And actually underneath my eyes, I'm just going to take my finger like eye cream and just tap this product out. I feel like this product definitely helps to brighten and lighten the under eyes, makes me look a lot more awake. And if I wanted to, like on just a normal everyday type of, you know, routine, if you will, I could just use this just to make me look more awake without even having to apply like makeup. It just really sets into the skin really nicely. For today's foundation concoction, it's one that you guys have seen on my channel before. My infamous NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. This is in Syracuse, and it is still a little too tan for me, so I will be mixing in a small amount of the NARS Natural Radiant in VANATU, and I'm just going to use a very small amount of this, not too much, just mostly for color, obviously. Coverage, this has that, and as far as matte look and feel, it definitely has that, but it's not too matte, too drying, or anything like that. So I like to mix my own concoction on the back of my hand first, and then I'll apply it to my face. But again, I like to do this because of the color match, not because of anything else. I really want you guys to see how well this really covers, so I'm just going to do half of my face first, and I am going to take my sponge and I'm just going to start tapping this in. But the coverage on this is really beautiful, you guys. And yes, I did mix it, but using the product on its own, which I have done previously, so you guys can go back to that video for reference if you guys want to see what the difference is. I don't think there's much of a difference because I use so little of the second foundation, but the way this lays on the skin is just so beautiful and I'm obsessed. For concealer, I'm going to use my Hourglass Vanish concealer in Fawn because it is a lot lighter and I did want something more brightening versus something that's like my skin tone. This is super bright though, so keep that in mind. To blend it out, I'm going to use my brush. This is from IT Cosmetics, but e.l.f. also has a brush very similar. And I'm just going to use this to press the product in underneath my eyes and everything. Of course, I'm going to go in with my sponge afterwards, but I just want to use the brush initially just to blend everything out. It also blends things out a lot quicker as well. I like the fact that this brush has like this dual end to it, where the smaller side I can just really blend out that nose a lot better than I would with the bigger side, and then I can just switch back over when I get to a bigger area like my forehead. But for the most part, I feel like the brush blended everything out nicely, but still I just like to go on top with my sponge just to make sure there's no streak marks or anything like that. But it blended out really nicely. Well, that lip chat did not last very long on these lips. So now that we've done the complexion, basically, I am going to start to prep my eyelids for shadow, and we are going to be doing a matte eyeshadow look, and I'm gonna try and keep it fairly simple. Now I am using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in Biscuit, which is like my favorite thing to use for my lids. I don't really like to use anything else, honestly. To set my makeup today, I'm going to use the MERCIER Translucent Setting Powder in Honey. And I don't know if this is gonna like help put the brightening concealer that we use like down a little bit, but we're gonna find out. I haven't used this powder in a minute and I really wanted to pull it out and play with it again because I know that it's a nice powder. I don't know if this was the right choice. So I'm just pressing it into the skin with my sponge. It's actually really pretty. I do love this powder. I just don't gravitate towards it so much just because of the shade. It just throws me off sometimes. I don't know why. I've used it, you know, plenty of times to know that it's not really as big of a difference as I'd like to think, but it is an overall nice powder. Helps to set everything really nicely, and so I'm just going to use this in my T-zone because it's really going to give us that matte look and feel, and it also gives a nice like blurring effect, if you will. For bronzer, I'm using the Ace Beauty Bronzed in Paradise palette, and I'm going to mix the two middle shades together. Normally when I apply my powder, that's when I feel like my makeup is starting to come together, but when it's something like this where like everything just looks one-toned, I definitely need bronzer in my life, and then that's when everything starts to come together. Now for eyeshadow, I did want to use a palette I haven't used in a while. I haven't touched anything Tarte in like a long time, so I pulled out the Tarteist Pro palette, which I think is very much appropriate for that fall vibe, which we're not quite in fall yet, but let's just consider this a pre-fall makeup look. And I'm definitely wanting something brown and neutral. We're not really gonna mess with the shimmers over here. We're gonna keep it matte completely. So I think to start, I'm going to take Whimsy, which is this burnt brown orange shadow, and I'm gonna pop this in the outer part of my crease and the outer corner. So a wash of color is really all that I wanted. Now I'm going to go back into the palette and I'm going to take Edgy, which is this brown shadow right here, and I'm going to work this on the outer part of the crease with a smaller brush. I'm going to go back in with the previous shadow, which was Whimsy, tap off my brush, and then I'm just gonna go run it on the top because we don't want to lose sight of this color, but it's also gonna help us like blend everything out a little bit better. As I said before, keeping everything matte, I'm gonna take Bold in this palette, which is this light brown shade right here, and I'm gonna put that on the inner part of my lid and basically use it as my lid shade. This shadow is like a soft brown, if you will. Definitely like a your skin tone but better type of shade, and I think it's beautiful with this look. Now I am using a flat brush to apply this, but this is the Real Techniques base shadow brush, and it's a little bit more fluffier than like your typical flat brush, and I feel like these type of brushes are best for matte shadows versus using something super flat. I think super flat brushes are better for shimmer, and these ones are definitely better for matte, because you want it to lay nicely, you know. You still have the flatness to press it on onto the lid, but then you have that fluffiness to just kind of blend it up into the crease area. Now of course we still want to go back into the previous shadow, so I'm going to take a little bit more of Edgy, and I'm going to just blend the two of them together here on the outer part of the eye, just to make sure everything is looking nice and blended and everything kind of goes together. Now of course we have to do to the bottom what we did to the top, so I'm taking the first shadow and I'm dragging that all the way across. Then I'm taking Edgy and I'm running that on the lower lash line as well. Then for my waterline, I'm going to use my LA Girl. This is the Perfect Precision lip liner in Nude, and I'm just going to line my eyes with this because it gives that open eye effect. Doesn't, you know, make it too dark or vampy. Now really quickly off camera, I am going to pop on my lashes. I'm going to be using these ones from Velour. This is the Live In Lashes Premium Synthetic Lash, and they're vegan and cruelty free. I don't really know the name though, like if it has an actual name. If I can find it somewhere on the box, of course I'll have everything listed down below, so always check the description box, but these are what they look like, and I'm just going to pop these on really quickly and then we can finish out with bronzer and blush. So our lashes are now on. I really like these lashes. So let's go back to like the base makeup and everything, since our eyes are pretty much done. Actually no, they're not. I want to go back into the palette one more time and add like a little inner corner pop, if you will. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of Classic, which is this one right here in the corner. Definitely looks white on camera, but I'm going to take a little bit of this shade right here and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner of my eye. A nice like matte inner corner pop. We love it over here. Okay, so now let's go back to bronzer. I know I already applied it, but I want to apply a little bit more. I'm going to actually use the matte bronzer from NARS. This is in Laguna, and I'm going to use the same brush from before, but I just feel like I need a little something extra. It's just not hitting the way that I want it to hit, and hopefully this will do the trick. I was trying to be light-handed with the bronzer, but it is what it is. For blush, I'm going to use the ALAMAR Cosmetics Blush Trio. I'm going to do a mixture between this I'm going to do a mixture between the bottom shade, which is called Seclusion, and Toasted up here at the top, and just mix those two together and see what we get. I'm going to use my angled brush for this from ALAMAR Cosmetics. Also, I did not plan that. Just realized that I'm using the tool from them, which is also really nice. I do love their brushes and everything. Okay, their blushes are super pigmented. Hello somebody. I have not used this palette in a while, so I'm just trying to blend it out. So I'm just going back in with my bronzer brush and I'm using it just to help further blend out that blush because it is so pigmented. Like, girl, I forgot how pigmented it is, but it's really cute and pretty, and you know, blush is the first thing to wear off on your face anyways. But yeah, so that's our face. I'm not doing any highlight today because again, we want it to be all matte, and I feel like I've been not really going overboard with the highlight, but we can do without it. So to finish things off, I'm going to use my Revolution Pro. This is the HYDRA-MATTE fixing spray, which you guys have also seen me use before. And can't talk when I spray this. Has a weird like smell. Well, not really weird, but different. And it's powerful, so yeah. Let me just spray my face down. Alright beauties, so this is everything finished and complete. I know I did not put on a lip. I didn't even put on a gloss because I wanted to keep everything really matte. So let me know down in the comment section down below what lip choice you would choose for this look. Me personally, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I would go with something like nude. Maybe like a pinky nude. I mean, even a nice brown would be nice, but that's like extremely fall. And I'm not there yet. I'm not ready for that. This is kind of like a pre-fall look, if you will. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments as it relates to this look and the lip choice, of course. With all of that being said, I am going to close out today's video here, and I hope to see each and every one of you in my next upload.